Hey, it's 28 millimeter RPG. Rick here. Yes, I've been laying low. We have OGGM talking here about Ben from Questing Beast. Let's hear what he says here.
Let's address both of Ben's video. First, 5e has a D.
Oh, hold on. Only one thing I'm going to really address here is this first thing here. 5e has a
GM problem.
GM problem.
According to research done from multiple sources, actual legitimate sources like the New York Times, there are more 5e players than there are 5e DMs. There are more 5e players than there are 5e DMs. And this is the problem. Throughout the history of the game, of every single solitary iteration of the game, of every role-playing game in existence, all over the world, there has always been more players than DMs, which is why people like me are always stuck in the role of eternal DM.
And there you go. That's the way it's always been. I agree. Now, the problem is 5e is taking. Okay. So, out of all the dungeon masters out there, so we have all the dungeon masters. This is all the dungeon masters here to here, here to here. Okay. The ones that play at home. Okay. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them that just play at home or with their groups at a game, at a place where they all play games, or a hobby store or something like that, or a games room, or something like that. The amount of dungeon masters in 5e that use online tools, there might be a few of them. Okay, so there's ones that use online tools, ones that use a virtual tabletop, even less of those. Okay. So the ones that use 5e guild, so the guild, so how many are left here? It's starting to become a smaller and smaller group. Not everybody is online, not everybody is. Okay, so all these dungeon masters that are left out, that are doing their own thing at home, not even bothering. They just have like maybe the 3 books, and that's all. They don't buy the additional books, or they don't want to get into that convoluted mess of having all kinds of different monster characters in their game. Because when it comes down to it, um 5e it's a mess. 5e's a mess. I wouldn't I have the books. I have all the major books. Plus I have a few of the extra ones that I thought might be cool. Like Xanathars and Mordekainen's, and what else? I got the Theros. Theros was a bad purchase. I stopped buying anything from Wizards of the Coast after that. That was a mess. That was bad. Um so so they're not taking in consideration that, yeah, there's a lot of dungeon masters out there that actually don't ever play online. So they're out of that equation. So they're trying to get all the dungeon masters into this one D&D thing where it's all online and you use the tools online and all that stuff. They're getting just a very small percentage of all the dungeon masters out there. And of course, there's going to be a lot more players out there, especially in that spectrum, because now they've really crushed down the amount of dungeon masters to such a small sliver of what's actually out there because of all this. is it going to destroy the game for them? I don't care if it does or doesn't. I don't, like I say, I don't play 5e. Like, I have the books, but the books are there in case I do, as a player, play. But I haven't become a player yet in 5e. I haven't become a player yet in Pathfinder 2 either. So here's the thing. If I don't use my 5e books this year, I'm going to sell them all. I'm just going to get rid of them because they're just taking up space on my bookshelf. So um and yeah, yeah, OG has a point here, and it's totally correct. It's always been that way. Even through all the years that I've played, we've had a number of players that wanted to game master a specific genre, and not everybody wants to like do the D&D thing. If I was to play D&D, I would be playing, the Castles and Crusades, obviously. That's my go-to kind of thing. It used to be second edition, or, now it's going to be, Castles and Crusades. So I've played Castles and Crusades quite a bit, both online and as in person, you know, over a tabletop. And it's fun. It's very easy. There's not a bunch of convoluted rules that you have to abide by. There's not a bunch of convoluted rules on positioning, tactics, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's some rudimentary rules about it, but it's very easy and basic. And D&D nowadays it's basically a board game that you play on a virtual tabletop board with a grid. So you got a map, and you got your figures that move along the board, that move a certain amount of spaces every turn, or you have choices. You can move them out of spaces. You can also, instead of moving that amount of spaces, you can go ahead and you can do a certain thing. You can do a certain small thing. It's just uh, uh, and you use dice for resolution. It's like Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven's the same thing. You use a map, you position your token on a part of the map. You got all your cards, so you play your card. I mean, you can do that with D&D. You can have the cards too. There's cards. You can use cards in D&D. They'll have cards for you that you can pull out, and this is the thing I do this turn. Just like Gloomhaven. I know you guys are gonna get all cranky on me when you see my video. All you people that haven't subscribed to me, all 50% of you that watch my videos that have not caught on to this reality, are going to be all up in arms because Rick here is talking nonsense to them. No, 5e is not a board game. It's not. It's a role playing game that you don't role play in. All you're doing is talking about rules, mechanics, and stuff like that. So start role playing. Role play in the game. Now, other than that, yeah. Um, so Wizards of the Coast is trying to keep everybody funneled into this thing called 1D&D. So everybody gets all their information there. Everybody goes there to play. That's what they want. They want to have this control place where they can observe and see how you're playing. And if you're not abiding by the rules, according to the great whoever Crawford, the great Crawford will oversee all of the doings in 1D&D and make sure that you're playing accordingly. You don't have evil orcs. You don't have slavery. Some bad guy enslavers. That's just that's not allowed. They're gonna make sure that you have at least one girl in your group because otherwise you're out, you're banned. They don't want you to show up with your all guy group and and have all your toxic masculinity spread all over in that session. That's not allowed. I'm joking, but seriously, what else are they doing here? Like they just they need to make money off of this somehow, so they're going to try and monetize it some way, and and make it so that you only play through this certain thing. That's that's the way they would want you to play. That's the way they maximize their money. That's why they get you to buy all the maps, the little fold out maps, all the little. That's why they get you to buy all the little things that you put in the rooms, tables, chairs, you know, food, your little miniature food, because all you're going to be doing is having foodie contests. That's all D&D is now. Foodie contests. We must mix the ingredients. We must find the ingredients, mix them, and beat off the baddie critters that want to eat our food. No, smack smack. You can only eat when we tell you that you can eat. I don't know how else are you gonna have some sort of conflict going on in a game nowadays in D&D. They made it all so weird. It's weird. It's a game full of weirdos and weirdness. It's just it doesn't make any sense anymore. But if I'm gonna play a game, I'm playing a game because it's gonna be emulating somewhat of a movie kind of situation where cool shit happens, and or like it's gonna be a Tarantino kind of situation where the whole thing goes awry, and every Joe was dead. And what do we do with his body? There's going to be like a bachelor party for him. How do we get how do we get through this? We could animate his body and or replace his skeleton with a robot skeleton, and we'll automate him. And it gets weird. You can do weird stuff like that. You come up with all kinds of weird ideas. How do we circumvent this idea, this problem, and make it all better. Tarantino movie it. Come up with some sort of bizarre situation, and the players have to go ahead and get themselves out of it. The bad guys are coming. They want to get their suitcase, but you have their suitcase, and they think you stole it when you were just wanting to go ahead and return it to them nicely. Well, here's your suitcase with $1 million and 5 bags of cocaine. Here you go. Please don't shoot us. We'll go away nicely. Yeah. You recognize our faces. We must get rid of the evidence. So, situations like that make an interesting game, interesting scenario that you play through, and you roll dice to see who gets hit, who gets their head blown off and stuff like that. And you have fun with it. People are going to die, or there's going to be some sort of weird thing that's going to happen. You won't be able to do that with one D&D. So it's going to be the watchful eye is going to be over you, making sure that you aren't doing bad things, bad things. So um so I see this one D&D being, it's just going to blow up. It's going to go the route of the Warhammer, the Warhammer thing that they had. What was a Warhammer Prime or some sort of weird thing like that, where they had it on a subscription basis. Now everybody's like, ah, that's a con game. Everybody left it, and nobody's you don't hear anything about it anymore. People were like, oh well, we pay all this money, but where's all the shows? There's only like 5 shows here. Where's the rest of these shows that you were supposed to be giving us for our subscription? And now you don't hear anything about it at all. So it's kind of gone, disappeared. Nobody uses it. So what's going to happen with one D&D? Because they basically split their player base totally, and they're splitting. They keep on splitting it and splitting it because people are like, going off, like they're saying, "Fuck this! I'm not gonna. Why would I want to play this game anymore?" It's even the Wizards of the Coast doesn't want me to play it. So why bother? I have wrong think according to them. You know, I've got bad guys that enslave people. I've got, and my characters are trying to fight that. Trying to fight the bad guys, and that's a wrong thing apparently. So, um, yeah, what are the game masters going to do? Well, we're going to play this game, the scenario where we're all going to go find ingredients for this pie, and in the end, we're going to see whether or not we can make the pie and make it taste good. And if we do, then we win. We win the internet. I'm done. I'm done. I think I'm going to go ahead and sell all my 5e stuff already now. After Christmas, I'm gonna sell it all. I'm just like, why do I even have this thing on my shelf? It's a nuisance. It's just taking up too much room. I could be putting other games up there that are even cooler. Enough of this. Enough of this nonsense. Yeah, so gee, it's getting weird out there. But yeah, keep on talking about it, and let people know there's no reason for us to even be talking about it. It's important to the Wizards of the Coast guys, because the Wizards of the Coast guys don't haven't clued in here. They're like, why is there not enough game masters out there, and we have too many players? Why? Well, if you had been around, Crawford, and the rest of you weirdos, through all the times that D&D has been in the past, yeah, that's the way it is. That's always been the way it is. Just because you guys are new on the scene, it's not a this isn't a new thing. This is the way it always has been. So, and since you've split your player base even more and more with this one D&D, well, you're going to expect, your your amount of game masters out there gonzoed. So that's your tough luck. Um so yeah, me, I play Traveler. I play Cypher System. I play Castles and Crusades. I play a couple other interesting games as well up there. I've got some Call of Cthulhu and stuff like that. So, um, all kinds of different games that you probably never even heard of if you're new to this channel. Um, but I have fun playing those because they're more like action. They're action games. I like action games. I want to I want to game master in an action way. Things are happening and they keep on going, and the players need to think on the spot, and it's okay. It's okay if you do the wrong thing in my game. It's totally all right. If you do the wrong thing, you make the wrong decision, it's okay. It's part of the game, And I enjoy it when you do the wrong thing because then cool shit happens. Because, now we're in a situation where, oh no, this has happened. And instead of resolving it, it gets worse. And now we got this and this. And sometimes you get out of it. And that's it's a cool thing. You get some players die. Some players will die. Their characters will die in various ways. Sometimes they won't. It all depends on what they do and how they do it, what they roll. If the dice are saying, yeah, positive things as they're rolling dice, positive things are going to happen. If they're rolling terrible, that's it's the way the gods want it. That's the way it goes. The dice gods are against you today. But yeah, I totally agree with OG here. These guys are making all a hullabaloo over nothing. It's just the way it is. And I don't know. Ben's been kind of iffy with a lot of the stuff that he's been conforming to the screaming hordes out there. If he makes a review on something that's kind of on the edge, kind of like Lion and Dragon or something, he'll erase that review if there's a lot of lefties out there that are calling it bad. And he'll conform to what the lefties want. He's just like Runehammer. Runehammer's the same way. He's Runehammer is well, I don't want to say any more other than yes, he has done bad things. He has said bad things, and he's tried to erase his tracks on saying bad things. Everybody's got those things in their background that is going to get them canceled. And when you're playing the side of the cancelers, the ones that you must appease, and they finally get wind that, oh, you did this thing, well, then you're just going to get canceled anyways. So I'm not I'm a conservative. I'm a Canadian conservative. And if that's a bad thing that offends you, so be it. I don't bring my political leanings or views into the game itself. Um I play you know the parts of dictators as dictators. They're bad people. I play the parts of rich guys out there that are trying to control things in the world. I'll play them as bad guys or as guys that think they're doing good in the world when they're actually doing bad things. Uh, that's the interesting thing about different aspects of our world and how it relates in, say, the far future. You're going to have these mega corporations in the far future that do bad things or good things, or they think they're doing good things, but they're actually bad things, or they might be employing people that they think are doing good things, but they're doing bad things and stuff like that. It's just, you got to have all kinds of different weird things. Otherwise, you're going to have the same thing going on over and over and over again. You have to vary it. You got to have a mix of different kinds of ideas out there. And if you're not exploring it and having fun with it, then you're just going to end up with a game that ends up being a group of characters going out looking for ingredients for the next pie, because that's the safe way of playing whatever game it is you're playing. We are all foodies now. That's the way our game goes. Anyways, uh, I'll stop rambling and just I just wanted to put this out there. If you haven't seen OGGM and you're new, just go visit his um, YouTube channel. Watch his videos. If you agree with stuff that he says, go ahead and put the little thumbs up on his on his video, or subscribe to him, or whatever you feel like doing. He's got some interesting stuff. He tries to keep up with the news in the game, so he's always bringing up what's the latest thing. So he'll have little sessions where of videos where he'll announce what's coming up in this realm of gaming, and what's coming up in all kinds of different aspects, books, different systems, stuff like that. He's pretty cool that way. So I'm just saying, if you want, if you want to hear stuff, from his point of view, he's right there. I'll put the link in the description. And the same thing goes with me. If you think I'm doing something pretty cool and you want to follow along, hey, I'm here. Just hit that subscribe button. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Do it.